Yeah, good song, isn't it? Ellie Linebear's new one there with Angels. It is 11 minutes after 8. Rhema Brekky here on your Thankfulness Thursday morning. And as I've been talking about most of the week, we are joined this morning here in the studios live, a very special guest, a member for Gossett, Leisl Tesch, sitting across from me here in the studios. Good morning to you, Leisl. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Would have liked to see a different outcome last night, but we'll be cheering them in the next game.
I know. And I'm just wondering as well how many other people out there who were tuned into last night's game, not really football fans, but just kind of got swept up in the whole things, and now I think they've probably got a bit of a different outlook, particularly with the women's game.
Absolutely. I mean, just the young girls that have been taken on an incredible journey, but the young boys beside them, like I really just think it's shape-shifted the nation. It really has.
Yep, absolutely. And we are a patriotic bunch to us Aussies.
I've still got a bit of green and gold on today.
I noticed that. You've done well. Unfortunately, I'm dressed all in black, so I'm not sure what that says about me, but bit of a Johnny Cash thing going on there. But anyway, great to have you in this morning. Now, of course, we want to have a bit of a chat to you because there are plenty of things happening around the Central Coast, plenty of projects that are underway at the moment and to come in the future. And we wanted to get you on air this morning, chat about some of those things that are going to be really beneficial to Coasties here. But first, before we jump into that, just give us a little bit about the Leisl Tesch story. You've been heavily involved in sport yourself as well. Talk to us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, I was the able-bodied kid who put my hand up to get into every single sporting team that I could to get out of class. And then when I was 19, I had a mountain bike crash and broke my back. And when I was lying in bed in hospital, a couple of the wheelchair basketballers came in and said, would you like to try wheelchair basketball? In 1988, no one even knew what Paralympic sport was. And once I was up, 2 months lying in bed, but once I was sitting up, again, they took me out to Mount Druitt, where the home of Wheelchair Sports New South Wales was, and I wheeled into this place and I saw guys and girls going fast and having fun in these wheelchairs. I thought, life's actually going to be all right. And I fell in love with the sport, and because I already had like a rep basketball background, I was selected to play pretty quickly for New South Wales and then to trial for Australia, and resulted in five Paralympics as a basketballer, with the first medal came in Sydney 2000. So it's interesting watching the Matildas like backing up to win that final game, right, like losing that gold medal game in Sydney. It's like, and then we got another silver in Athens, and then backing up in Beijing, we actually turned it around and got a bronze. And bronze is an incredibly different victory. And then I changed sports. I grew up sailing on Lake Macquarie, and then after playing professionally wheelchair basketball in Europe in the men's leagues, I came home. This is all in a nutshell. Came home, was a bit bored, and did the Sydney to Hobart with Sailors for Disabilities, which is amazing. One of the Paralympic sailors needed a female crew, rang me. I never imagined. My identity was a basketballer. And Dan said, do you want to come to a sailing regatta after we'd had a couple of sails together, sailing regatta in Miami, and we won our first two regattas. I came home to train for basketball at the AIS. They said, Leisl, you got a chance to have a crack at this sailing, and I did, and I got 2 gold medals racing in London and Rio with this amazing, fabulous quadriplegic mate who's a really good friend of mine.
Wow, so there you go. Not only the local member, but also a medalist on the world stage as well. I mean, and one of the busiest people around as well, one of the busiest public servants you are on the coast. You always see your face popping up in different things. You're out and about there working hard for the community. Some of the things that are going on at the moment now, Gossett Waterfront, that's for probably the longest time that people would remember, you always had, it was, I don't know what word I could really use to describe this fully, but it was a little bit on the rundown side down there, looking a whole lot different today though, isn't it?
It is, and we've still got a long way to come, and this is something that the community's been looking for I think probably 40 years, and nobody's actually got their paws on it. Hopefully in the 4 years ahead we'll start that program. Council's come up with lots of nice pretty pictures. There's been lots of pictures of Gosford of what we can imagine. I really don't want to deliver any pictures. I actually want to get the shovels in the ground. It will take a long time to make sure that we can do what we want to do there. Connecting the Gosford waterfront to Point Clare with the bike paths, like just connecting the peninsula to Gosford, getting people out of their cars, getting you to work on a pushy, imagine that.
Yeah, I'm only just down the road these days.
Yeah, so the waterfront is something that, and working out how we deliver that. So at the moment it's part council land, part Crown land, part Dark and Young land. Mm-hmm. So working out, we've got to set up one governing body as a starting point to actually get that in place. So it's ticking over, and we'll just keep you posted, and the community will come on a journey with us. There's no decided outcome at this point in time at all. So it's something that we will work with the community. Whilst council's drawn us some pictures, it's not necessarily how it's going to end up.
Sure. And there's also been plenty of work done up around the campus, the uni campus as well here on the coast. How amazing is that at Ourimbah?
So excited, absolutely. I'm a University of Newcastle alumni, and so to have a uni campus come on, well, the Ourimbah is a work in progress. It's an interesting, because there will be some courses that are moved once that, so the digging shovels are actually meant to start in the Gosford Man Street Mitre 10 site this year. So all going to plan, we should have the university in Man Street, Gosford, which is this really gorgeous sand, based on sandstone and the creeks and the rivers. It's really organic, lovely shape, 3 stories. That should be open for semester 1, all going to plan 2025. But the real challenge is that will bring some students out of the Ourimbah campus into the town centre. Great for the town centre.
Absolutely.
But then the question about what we do with that amazing facility, the education facility, which is TAFE, college and uni combined back there at Ourimbah. So we've got a working party set up to have a discussion about the future of that site as well. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that when the work starts here in the city. That will be great for Gosford, great for the, I guess, this lower part of the Central Coast as well. Hopefully a lot of students from around your way where your office is situated down there at Woy Woy will come up a little bit more.
Absolutely, and Newcastle's really done some goal-kicking historically about first-in-family delivery to the coast. So having that in the town centre, giving kids on the coast, we still don't have fantastic educational outcomes for coasties as far as vocational tertiary education goes. So having the campus there is super important. The other great thing we've got is the Central Coast Research Institute, which is a big building, the hospital there. We've now got fantastic world-class nursing and medicine courses being delivered there, which is super important with the nurse shortage that's going on at the moment. So coasties, come on in, study those health things and stay here on the beautiful Central Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. We're joined by our member for Gosford, Leisl Tesch, this morning in the chair. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with some more right after this. This is Rhema Brekky on your Thankfulness Thursday morning. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? Joshua Micah's moving through me. It's coming up to 22 minutes after 8. Rhema Brekky on your Thursday morning. Good to have your company. We're joined live in the studio. A very special guest this morning, Leisl Tesch, the member for Gosford, sitting opposite to me. We've already been having a bit of a chat. If you want to get an update of what's happening around the coast as far as all the great projects. Now, you can actually listen to this on our podcast page as well a little bit later on this afternoon, maybe even into the night. Check it out on Rhema Replay as well. But Leisl, wanted to chat a little bit about affordable housing. Now, housing, it is a huge issue at the moment, isn't it? Prices of rent gone through the roof. Obviously, the RBA, all of the interest rate rises that has gone on. It's like, what is happening right now? But there are some things afoot here on the coast to help people out to get a roof over their head.
It is. It's a really tough one. I know the cost of living is really biting across our community, across Australia. But it's almost like it was a gift. I had a group of people come into my office who are private people wanting to develop in our gorgeous community. They said, what do you need, Leisl? I'm like, I just need social affordable housing. Like, we've got a whole bunch of sites. And so I've met with these people. I've introduced them to Coast Shelter. I've introduced them to Pacific Link. I've introduced them to Older Women's Network and our Action Housing for Older Women and St Vinny's and a whole bunch of amazing organisations across our community who do great work with people who are living in the housing crisis. Just to get a clear idea of what we need, we're now talking to the Minister for Planning and the reality about what we can do in the Gosford Town Centre area to actually put up some social and affordable housing, mixed tenure, which is possibly the best solution rather than putting all the people who live in disadvantage together. If we put everybody in a salt and pepper delivery, that's really the best outcome. So I've been to New York and I've had a look at what works. So let's have a look and see if we can get something really good for our community, because we do know any housing development, it's really difficult. Lots of people oppose densification or oppose new areas opening up.
Sure.
But I've got people in my office nearly every day in housing crisis, and that's because we really don't have enough houses, which then pushes the prices up.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I have noticed here. I've been living here on the coast full time since 2017, and years past, probably almost 20 years ago now, I guess, I worked for a company in Newcastle where I travelled down this way quite a bit, but the price of housing has just skyrocketed as well. I mean, a lot of places around here, a lot of suburbs, you could definitely called the Millionaires Road now. And back in the day, you know, that was kind of the very exclusive areas, but now that's kind of right across the board.
My little fibros looking like a glamour.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, if
I might just add one thing too, Rick. It's actually open for consultation at the moment. We've set up a rental commissioner because at the moment the voices of renters haven't really been heard in government at state or federal level. So New South Wales set up a rental commissioner. So if you're interested in putting your 2 bobs worth in about how it feels for you or any ideas, we're more than welcome, because it's the voice of the people. It's the people's parliament. It's the voice of the people that are telling us how do we need to create a different shaped future so we can have a better quality of life. In Europe, renters live with such dignity, but it's just not the same situation here. So there'll be some tweaking and shaping, but it's based on community consultation.
Yeah, that is great news. Coastability is another one as well to get into this morning. I wanted to chat a little bit about that.
Oh, it's one of my favourites. I've been a patron with Coastability for years before I became the Member of Parliament. They're a great organisation that support people with disabilities to get into life. So they supply transport for kids to get to school. They supply equipment for families who possibly don't fit into the NDIS or haven't got access there. And they also have got great scholarships to support young people who are stepping into sport and also stepping into study who have got disabilities. So Google Coastability. They really run by volunteers. If you're interested in putting your hand up to volunteer, they'll take volunteers as well, but a fantastic, quite an old organisation here on the coast who just quietly behind the scenes go around helping people with disabilities.
Yeah, that is amazing. And yourself, obviously, a lot of experience, disability sports and everything else there that goes along with that. Bit of a role model yourself, I would imagine, a lot of people. Now, did you get up to the CP Sarah Day up there at Niagara Park?
I did. I had lots of fun.
Yeah,
Ray Anderson, she's been a young mentor of me since she was a little kid. Now she's growing up and she's running events, which is a really important thing that we support people with disabilities into leadership. But people would come up from Sydney to try different sports, and it was a fantastic day, and there'll be more come and try Paralympic opportunities to get involved. So, it's not just women's soccer, it's people with disabilities can reach up to those stars at the Paralympics as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And to wrap it up this morning, dredging. This is what we wanted. Now, this has been in the news as well. A bit of an update on what's happening there. It's one of the things that I guess it's a bit of a necessary evil at times, isn't it, really?
Well, it just is setting things in place so it doesn't happen this way again.
Yeah.
I've committed with the Minister for Transport to put a 10-year plan so we don't actually have to wait. So what actually happens is this time around, the sand builds up, but then you've got to apply for these permissions from Crown Lands to be able to take the sand, etc., but and get the contract for the dredge to come down. So we actually got a dredge coming down from Queensland, and fingers and toes, if the weather's lovely, we've got 2 sections we have to dredge, one right out at the point there and one inside half-tide rocks at the moment. You never really can tell where the sand's going to be. Nature is a beautiful thing, but hopefully that dredging will start on Monday, which is fantastic news.
That's exactly what we want to hear. Leisl, thank you so much. This is the first time you've been in, I've been doing breakfast at least anyway, so it's been an absolute pleasure and a joy to have you in this morning. We will definitely chat to you again on air at some point in the near future for sure. Always lots of things happening around the coast, so guys, make sure you stay tuned. Now, if people want to get in contact with you, Leisl, how can they go about that one?
Ring the office 4342-4122 or email us at gosford@parliament.nsw.gov.au. But also, I'm out and about on the streets. I'm a member of the community. I was a school teacher. I've just put my hand up to represent our beautiful community. Come and have a chat, and I can really direct you. There's inquiries that not necessarily state-based, but local government and federal government as well. I can help direct you. I'm privileged to represent our community every single day.
Awesome. Leisl, thank you so much for coming in. This is Rhema Brekky here on your Thankfulness Thursday morning. Stay with us as we head on up towards the 8:30 news.